Well, hello there. Welcome back to day number 2. Or day number 2 of the 5 episodes a week of the 1,000 Ways podcast. Hello. How are you? I appreciate you being back. Like always, that's a very important question. How are you? Because if you're not good, if you're not doing good, what's the point, Or figure out what's gonna do you good. Well, it's definitely been an eventful last couple days as far as trying to get these podcasts out and ready to go. Today is Tuesday, April 9th. For any weightlifters out there that want to compete at the national championship in Memphis, the deadline is, oh fuck, let me just make sure. I gotta make sure for sure so I'm not giving anybody some wrong information. The national championship deadline is on April 11th. So April 11th is Thursday. Thursday at, what is it, 10-11 p.m. Mountain Time? Oh, for fuck's sake, it's not opening. Oh, okay. There we go. God, I have the slowest internet. Registration period, January 1st to April 11th, 2 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. So make sure that you're signing up by the 11th, and that is Thursday. Just make sure you're making it. If you're gonna go out there, it's gonna be fun. Okay, what are we gonna talk about today? I heard a saying. And it was it just kind of came up. One of those weird roundabout ways where the universe likes to shove shit in your face when you're least expecting it. I was sitting there at work just kind of complaining about all the stuff that I had to balance and all the stuff that I have to do, and there's just so much stuff that I'm kind of overwhelmed with at the moment, and I'm definitely trying my best to balance it all. And the saying that I heard was, it's, I believe, Atlas. And if you don't know Atlas, he is, in Greek mythology, Atlas is the big man. He's the Titan. He's a Titan, so he's not a god. Well, he's kind of a god, but he's, like Zeus and Hades and Athena, and I can't remember the water guy, the sea boy. Fuck, what's his name? Oh my gosh, what's Poseidon, that guy with his fucking trident. Those guys, they didn't like the Titans, and the Titans were kind of the gods that were there before them. I don't know, or like their cousins or some shit. I don't know. I'm a moron. I don't know. Definitely trying to find out. But all I know about it, because the level of Greek mythology that I know is Percy Jackson and the Olympians. Those books. Books are pretty badass. That's as far as I know. But the Titans were like the Greek gods' cousins or relatives, or there before them. They were super powerful, and they wanted Olympus and all the world and the planets to themselves. And Zeus and his two brothers were like, "Pops, this is dumb as fuck. I don't want to share. I don't want to share all of this with those bunk ass motherfuckers. They're really just kind of irritating because they've been here before us. So they're like, oh, we own everything." So they decided to fight those Titans, all the Greek gods, Zeus, and Zeus is the easy one. Zeus, everyone knows Zeus. He's got the lightning bolt. Zeus, Hades, Poseidon, all those guys, they fought the Titans. Long story short, Titans were banished. And there's one guy. His name is Atlas, and him being a Titan, he was, I'm not 100% sure how he was punished, but he was punished by Big Daddy Zeus himself, and his punishment was to carry the world, the heavens and the earth on his shoulders. And funny thing is, if you know what an Atlas stone is, that big rock, like round stone, I would assume that's where it got its name from. Just a big heavy stone. But Atlas was punished to hold up the world, the earth and heavens on his shoulders. And in the midst of his punishment, and it's for all eternity. So a dude's down there right now holding everybody up, and he's been doing a great job. Shout out to Atlas being there since the beginning. Holding everything up. But in the midst of all of his bitching and moaning about having to hold the planet up on his shoulders, he said to Zeus, "I ask not for a lighter burden, but broader shoulders." So sit there and you got to think about it. What does that mean to you? What does that mean to you? Understandably, everyone has their own things to deal with. Everyone has their own life, their own problems, their situations, their issues, their circumstances, all that jazz. And I'm sure, just like for me, it's burdensome. It's a big burden to have to take care of so many things. And I'm sure that there's time and time again where you want to sit there and you complain about the fact that it's there in general. And you wish and wish and wish that it wasn't there. You didn't have to deal with it. But what if you looked at it the other way? What if you were grateful for that burden, for those situations, the situation that you put yourself in, or the situation that you are in currently? Not because there's some situations out there that suck and no one would want to be put into those, but for whatever reason, whatever circumstance, you were put into that situation. And that's I guess it's kind of like a curse and a gift at the same time. Broader shoulders, wishing for broader shoulders. It's to be able to carry more, carry more of that burden, carry more of those responsibilities. Atlas was challenging him. He was like, hey, Zeus, look at me with your lightning bolt. Fuck you. I don't care. If I have to hold up the entire world. I'll hold up a little bit more. This is nothing. This is, I wish I had bigger shoulders so I can carry more of the world, make this world bigger. That's what he was like. So instead of thinking, yeah, my situation sucks. And personally, I definitely try to do a good job at it because, I do have a lot of responsibility in my work and my responsibility to you guys and the podcast and weightlifting and my family, my house. There's a lot of stuff that I have willingly put myself in to have to manage. And on the back end of that, there's a lot of stuff that's happened in my life where I feel that things aren't fair. And you know what? It's not about them not being fair. It's if that burden wasn't left on me as a kid, as a young adult growing up, that, circumstance. I was left in a shitty circumstance, the things that I couldn't control. There's a reason why I can balance all this pressure. There's a reason I can balance all these things. Now, the things that I choose to do, at least weightlifting and the podcast, work, I work is work, and that's a total different responsibility, and I figure it out and I make it happen. But if there was ever a situation where I wish that, and I know there was, where I wish that all the stuff that happened to me in my life would just go away. I never had to experience it. If Zeus came down with his magic lightning bolt and he was like, hey, bud, let's say we take it all back. We go back and everything's different. You have a healthy home life, parents who support you, together. You don't have to worry about any of that stuff, any of that naughty stuff that happened to you in your life. I don't think I would take it back. Because if it wasn't for that kind of stuff, if it wasn't for going through middle school and high school with all this weight on my shoulder that wasn't even my weight to begin with, I don't think I could have handled the kind of pressures that I've been under on a platform, in a job situation, stuff that I'm scared of or intimidated of doing, like starting a podcast or talking about myself. So I ask not for a lighter burden, but broader shoulders. Give it to me. Give me more. Give me more. Give me more of a challenge. Give me more responsibility, more opportunity. The last 2 weeks. Well, let's see. On Sunday, April 7th, I clean and jerked 183 kilograms. So it was like 404 pounds. The weekend before, I clean and jerk 182. And then, what was the weekend before that? What did we do that weekend before? So that was 183, 182. I think the weekend before was like 175, something like that, I mean, 181 kilos that at the U25 Nationals. That's definitely one of those big ones where I'm never going to forget what it took to overcome something like that, because the burden, that burden of having to get over that fear, having to get over all of that anxiety and just blind just, oh my gosh, just that fury and flurry of fear and rage and just disappointment. Like that's a huge burden. And there were definitely times throughout recovery and then throughout getting to that point where I just didn't want to give it up. I just want to give it up. I didn't want it anymore. So training for the national championship coming up in a couple weeks, about 6 weeks now, I think. Yeah, 6 weeks. These past 2 weekends, I have been pushing harder and harder and harder to get back to where I was before. And that's not something I have to do. I could have just been done. I could have been done and happy with what it was that I wanted to do and what I achieved up until that point, but it wasn't good enough. It wasn't good enough. So I took that burden, I put it on myself that, yeah, we're going to get healthy, we're going to get better, we're going to get back to where we were. So, excuse me. 181 was in the beginning of March. And then we took some time off, came back, and then a couple weeks ago, 2 weeks ago, we hit 182. 182 is just a kilo higher. 400 pounds, like 401 pounds to be exact, a kilo higher. And if I'm being... Can you hear that? What the fuck, dude? Turn your phone off. God. So rude. 182 was still pretty daunting. It was one of those things where, I hadn't done, this was, again, heavier than I had gone in since my injury, and I wasn't feeling too hot. I didn't do really good on snatch. It was just heavy single day, and we just wanted to go. And that's what I did. I just went. And to be honest, that on the first attempt at 182, I clarked it and I just missed it. I pulled it up like to my hips and I was like, can't do it. But I got mad and I told Sage that I wanted to do it. So the second attempt, I came back and I actually got under the bar. Drove myself under the bar. It was kind of forward, so it landed on my chest and then just dumped it forward, and that was it. And then I asked her if I can go one more time, and she said, yeah. And that last time, if you haven't seen it, it's on my Instagram. That's when I cleaned it. My left hand came off the bar, slipped off the bar, and I wasn't going to drop it. I wasn't going to make it. I wasn't going to let that weight make me its bitch again. And I stood up with it, re-racked it, got my arm back under it and jerked it. And it's again, no one told me that I had to do it. That's a burden that I hold and carry for myself. So what I want to do for myself. 1 kilo at a time, just get better. And then this past week on Sunday, it was 183 this time. It's 1 kilo more. And 1 kilo is 1 kilo, man. One step is one step. One drawing is one drawing. One video that you put out is one video. As long as you're moving forward, and no one can take that away from you. Just understand that. That burden that you put on yourself to get better, that's that burden to take one step forward, even though you don't want to. That's looking at Zeus and going, hey buddy, hey, go fuck yourself. Give me. I want it. Give me those broader shoulders so I can do more, so I can carry more. So, and it was a totally different day. And even the day before when I had trained in the garage, I felt like absolute dog shit. Terrible. Jerks were off. Everything was off. Everything sucked. Everything was heavy. And the following day, 1 more kilo. And I didn't do it with a belt, didn't do it with anything. And it wasn't, the goal was to come back from the beginning, right after I got hurt. The goal was to come back. And however long it took, that was that's what was supposed to happen. So I'd done pretty well in snatch earlier. I hit 143, which was 315 pounds, and that was cool. I was really happy, even though it was kind of shitty. That was the first time that I put that over my head in a long time. And then we did clean and jerk, and I did 183 without a belt. It was one of the best clean and jerks that I have ever done. And right after I had finished the jerk, dropped the bar, bounced off the ground, Coach B goes, "He's back. He's back." And that was a goal from the beginning. I didn't tell anybody that. I mean, everybody knew it, but I wasn't like, "Oh, I'm coming back. I'm coming back for you. I'm coming back for this." That was a goal for myself. That was a burden I put on myself. And I wasn't going to let fear, I wasn't going to let Zeus, I wasn't going to let anything get in the way of that. You hear me, bud? You hear me, Zeus? Give me those broader shoulders, bud. So, as you go through the rest of your Tuesday, the rest of your week, if this is the last episode that you listen to this week, because you're tired of hearing my voice, yeah, I know, I understand how life works. Trust me, I've been doing this whole life thing for quite some time now. Not as long as some people and not as short as some people, but I feel like I have some cool experience on what life is like, and I know it's rough. I know it's some rough stuff, and there's no need to get your head down. There's no need to get disappointed. There's no need to get angry. There's no need to get angry about your situation. There's no need to get angry about your circumstance. If anything, if it wasn't for your circumstance, you wouldn't be the person that you are today. That beautiful, gorgeous person that you choose to be every single day. And that's good. When you think about it that way and you realize the powerful being that you are, look up or down or left or right, wherever you think Zeus is, and you fucking tell him. You say, "Hey, I don't care about your stupid world on my shoulders, guy. I don't care about it. Yeah, it's heavy. I don't like it. But you know what? I wish I had broader shoulders. So I don't give a shit. I wish I could do more. And I'm gonna do more." Yeah, you tell that lightning flinging bitch. I don't know, dude. The Greek gods aren't super tight. Like, they're kind of... Those Titans were pretty tight. And that was the dumbest thing I've ever said on this podcast. But those Titans were pretty sweet. Hardcore guys. These little kids want to come by and be like, no. So, yeah, enjoy it. Enjoy life. Think of, rewire your brain. Think of it as an opportunity to grow and get better and broaden those shoulders. Shoot, man. If you have the world on your shoulders, you might as well do some presses with it. You know what I'm saying? Work out those lats and those tries and those buys and those delts. Work it out. If there's anything that should be kind of second nature, is that nothing comes easily. Nothing comes easily. I find it funny when I speak to my cousin, and he tells me all the time that he has a bunch of friends. As my cousin works with me, he goes to a JC, so he's going to a JUCO, but he's trying to figure out what he wants to do with his life. But he's got a bunch of friends who straight out of high school went to a 4-year, either playing sports or just went to a 4-year to study. And the thing about these kids is they've never had those burdens. They never had a lifelong burden like that. They didn't, and it's person to person, but we all know people like that. Nothing has ever really gone wrong for them. They don't understand what it's like to deal with some sort of heavy burden, or the heavy burden of life. And when I ask him, what are you doing? He says he doesn't know. And then I ask him, what are they doing? He's like, oh my God, they have no idea. So it goes hand in hand. It doesn't matter where you are. It doesn't matter where you are. If you don't know what it is that you're doing with your life, that's okay. It's okay. I think the most important part is that if you're going to choose between the Titan that holds up the entire world and then a little Greek god that flings around a tiny little bolt of lightning, I think you should choose the guy who's willingly, he's not willingly, it's his punishment, but I think you should choose the hardcore guy who's constantly working out. Time under tension is important. That dude's been under tension for millennia. Oh my gosh, I have no idea where this podcast went. Well, I hope you enjoyed Tuesday. Wherever you're listening to this, on your way down to work, on your way back home, on your break, trying to waste time, fucking whatever, wherever you're listening to me at, on the toilet, in bed, whatever, during a workout. It's cool. I hope you enjoyed it. Talk to you tomorrow on Wednesday, the 10th, registration day for the final registration, the final full day that you get for registering for nationals. Before I forget, you guys can follow me on Instagram, WL_CZAR. That's my new one. I am taking callers. Just kidding. I am definitely going to get a little bit more of an interactive piece of this podcast. So on Instagram, I put up a questionnaire, so I can answer some of your questions. So if you have any questions, you want my take on stuff, because I'm obviously a shining symbol of morality and just wisdom. And you want to hear what I have to say, which is probably not a good idea. Feel free to message me there, email me. Next episode for Wednesday, I'm going to take a deep dive at all the questions that I've gotten. I've gotten a little bit, a few. When I get a bunch of dumb ones from my friends. But I'll answer a few, and hopefully you guys will. Maybe Wednesday will be like a Q&A day. You know what I'm saying? I think it'll be fun. Have fun, everybody, on your Tuesday. Develop excellent work-train balances. Will your life into existence. Fulfill your intentions. Make poster boards. Do things that scare you. Just do it. Just Nike, do it. yeah, have fun, everybody. I'll talk to you tomorrow. I love you. Have a great rest of your Tuesday. So long.